With all the discussion about gerrymandering in Texas and California in the last year, it's time that we all became more familiar with how gerrymandered our own congressional districts are. I'm Dr. Brian Keene, and I'm running for Congress in Idaho's Congressional District Number 2. In this video, I'm going to discuss fighting gerrymandering and ask for your help making your vote count this election year. If you like what you're hearing, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and share this video with your friends on social media. It's been over 35 years since the last time a Democrat won this seat. Richard Stallings, who served from 1985 to 1993, was the last Democrat to represent Congressional District Number 2. Since that time, Republicans Mike Crapo from 1993 to 1999 and Mike Simpson from 1999 to present have served in this position, with Mike Simpson filling the seat for 26 years. The odds of a Democrat winning this seat anytime in the next decade are somewhere between highly improbable and likely impossible. For Democrats to have any representation in the district, they need to back a moderate Republican like me. Let's take a look at district voting history in our congressional district. In 2024, a presidential election year, approximately 2/3 of Congressional District 2 voted for President Trump, while less than 1/3 voted for Kamala Harris. Similarly, 2/3 of our district voted for Republican Mike Simpson, while less than 1/3 voted for Democratic opponent David Roth. Only 36% of Republican voters even voted in the primary election. Had even half of the Democrats who voted for David Roth in the general election been willing to register as Republicans and vote for a moderate Republican in the primary election, they could have easily defeated Mike Simpson. If you live in a gerrymandered district or in a heavily unbalanced district like ours, the only way to have your voice heard is to actively participate in the primary election of the majority party. In Idaho, if you're a Democrat or an independent, that means registering as a Republican so that you can vote in the primary election for sympathetic candidates. In some places, in more Democratic-leaning states, Republicans and independents might have to register as Democrats to vote for a sympathetic candidate to have their voices heard. 2026 is a midterm election. Voter turnout is usually much lower in a midterm election unless the public truly dislikes the president, such as this year. Looking back at the 2022 results, while we see a much lower turnout in the general election, we see similar percentages with the Republican Party still winning with about 2/3 of the vote, but we see a very similar voter turnout in the primaries with slightly under 100,000 voters in the Republican primary in 2024, but slightly higher than 100,000 voters in the Republican primary in 2022. Primary voters are usually the party faithful who rarely, if ever, miss an election. Once again, if even half of the Democrats who voted in the general election had voted for a moderate Republican in the Republican primary, they could have easily beaten the incumbent. I'll lose this election without your help. If you're a Republican who's unhappy with the direction this country is going, I need your vote in the primary election this May. If you're not registered to vote, I need you to register as soon as possible and register as a Republican so that you're eligible to vote in the primary election in May. You can change party registration on May 20th if you don't want to stay registered as a Republican, but you have to be a Republican in order to vote in the Republican primary. If you're registered to vote, but with a different party or as a nonpartisan, I need you to change your registration to Republican as soon as possible so that you're eligible to vote in the primary election in May. Again, you can change your party registration on May 20th as well if you don't want to stay registered as a Republican. You'll find a link to the online voter registration in the description of this video. If you want to help, here are a few important dates for you to remember. You'll find this list in the description of this video as well. I'm Dr. Brian Keene, and I'm ready to serve Idaho, to listen and to lead. Together, let's work to build a brighter future for Idaho families, for the state of Idaho, and for the United States of America. Help send me to Washington, D.C. Be sure to visit my website, KeeneForIdaho.com. And again, thank you so much for your time.